Hi, I'm Robert, and in this video I'm going to show you how to take this image from here to here, all in Lightroom. Let's get started at the bottom and work our way up. Make sure we're on the current version. To add a lot of saturation to this image, let's choose the green primary slider, click on saturation and bring it up. We'll leave it at 87 for now. We'll come back and adjust it a little bit later. I'm going to leave the post-crop vignetting alone. I'm not going to add one on this image, so we'll close that. Let's make sure this image is straight. That looks good. It was only slightly off. Make sure we click on constrain crop so we don't have these borders up here. As usual, we'll click on these two lens corrections to fix our image a little bit. Now we'll go up to sharpening. I'm going to do about 80 of sharpening. Hold down the Alt key over masking and then slide up on your slider. So let's sharpen only the areas that are in white. We don't need to sharpen the sky. Continuing up, you can see I upgraded to version 10 of Lightroom. So now we have the color grading panel, which we'll be coming back to as well as the color panel. So let's go up here. Let's bring our highlights down, recover our sky, bring our shadows up so we can get a good look into the foliage here. Maybe bring it down a little bit. Now we'll set our white point and our black point. First, we'll bring our whites up by looking at the clipping point here. So we'll bring it up till we start to clip and then back it down. That looks pretty good. We'll do the same with the black point, bring it down, then back it off. So now we have a pretty good exposure. I'm liking how our colors are looking. We can add a little bit of texture. Now let's go down to our color panel and let's work on our luminance here. I want to bring out the green area a little bit more. So let's go to luminance. We're going to go negative on the green just to darken it a little bit. Then we'll go up to the saturation on green and bring it up. So you can see a before and after. Here's before, after. It's a very subtle difference, but there's a small difference in here. I can see we have a little bit of blue coming through here. So we can go in saturation and bring our blue saturation down just a little bit. Now our whitewash is more white than it was blue. This also brings down the saturation in our sky so we can reset it back. So I like how the sky looks, but we have a lot of blue here. So we can try using the brush tool. Let's bring our feather down a little bit, it's kind of large. And let's just paint in the whitewash here. That's good. You can press O to get on that mask, and then you press O to turn it back off. And all we're going to do is bring down the saturation a little bit. Right about there. So now we've retained the blue in our sky, but we got rid of the blue color cast in the water here. So we'll turn off our brush. Let's go down to color grading. Let's start with the highlights. We'll go to highlights. We'll pull out and let's find a color we like. So it's a little too green here. We'll bring it more towards orange. More towards red. I kind of like there. So we can hold down shift and then we can adjust the intensity. So here's nothing. Then we'll bring it up a little bit. That's about halfway. So we'll go about halfway. That looks pretty good. Let's see if we need to add anything to the midtones. think I'll leave those alone. And I'm going to leave the shadows alone. You can see the shadow areas look pretty nicely balanced. So let's go back down to our green primary slider. Let's see if we can bring it up a little bit more. I want to get these to pop. So let me show you what it looks like before. So here's before, and here's after. We got a nice glow of green and yellow in the foliage now. Let's check the sky, make sure we don't have any dust in our image. We'll click on the spot removal tool and then click on visualize spots. And you can see we don't have any dust in this image. We can just adjust a little bit. These areas are just clouds. This little spot here could be dust, so we'll get rid of that. And turn off visualize spots, and we're done there. And I want to brighten this image up just a little bit. So let's go down to our white slider and bring it up just a little bit more. That's better. So in this image, I placed the horizon right in the middle. We have these nice sun rays that are coming up, but I also liked the high tide whitewash in the foreground. Usually I would only choose 1/3 of sky and then 2/3 of ground, or the other way around. But in this image, I decided just to split it down the middle. We have a nice leading line that goes through the image from the foreground all the way to the background, and from the right side to the left side. And when composing this image, I made sure to leave enough room for these trees to have some space over here. I didn't want to crowd it all the way over. And that's how I edit this image of Laguna Beach. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Thanks.